folks, and welcome to Scandals and Animals. I'm your host, Jen Weiss.
Co-host, Jacy Pulford.
Hey there, mama folks. Brandi.
They're going to expect this every week.
Welcome to Folkland, folks! Here's what the rundown, Elvis.
All right there, mama. All right, everybody. This week's rundown. In episode 124 of Nateland, Scandals and Animals, we started out with a story from the right side of Memphis as Nate told the tale of his Graceland visit. Aaron admitted that he bravely searches the internet anonymously. Google schmoogle. Brian's first purchase as a lotto winner would lead him to financial peace. And Dusty may not be a fan of Harry Potter or snakes, but he felt good about taking Bambi out.
It was a good time.
What was up with that?
Oh my God.
Folks, we're gonna get started with some comments here.
Yes, so there were, let's just say, there were a lot of comments of our from our founding father, Matt Organ. He likes to live tweet while he watches our episode, which we appreciate.
We certainly do.
I did want to pull one of the comments because I figured Jen would like to respond to it.
You have to insult me, don't you? I mean,
he can't help it.
you think how much money I have.
So Matt said, Brandi and Jacy's costumes made sense, obviously. But after the talk about Jacy having access to her son's superhero stuff, a light bulb went off. Jennifer doesn't have access to her kids' stuff, so she had to catch the Halloween clearance at Walmart. And Mickey ears were all that was left this late after Halloween. So she patched together her evil villain mouse costume, like if you ordered an evil villain mouse costume off Wish. Burn, Matt.
I gotta say, very clever and accurate about the costume. Wish.com.
Boom, roasted.
But you know what? He's right. I didn't have access to my kids' costumes because they kept them locked up from me. So
I have to keep my costumes locked up from my kids.
Ooh.
Like the one you're wearing right now?
Yeah. Oh, and sorry, we also want to do a special shout out to Rusty, who likes my sign messages. Thank you, Rusty. And ETP for his Folkland recaps. They're always the best. So I just wanted to do a little shout out to those guys.
ET, phone home. All right. So our next comment comes from, what did I do to my hair here? Hold on, folks. Hold on.
That is the weirdest handle I've ever heard.
There we go.
I don't know if I pronounced that right. Our next comment comes from one Nate Bargatze.
Woo! Hello, folks. Let's go.
That's a funny reference. Kevin Nealon was on, and people introduce you with the energy, but then you don't have the energy to keep it up. So it's like,
oh, right.
Okay. So now that I've explained my jokes, Nate Bargatze brought up Folkland on the pod.
Thank you, sir.
Pretty great. Nate remembered Jacy's name and then forgot Jacy's name and then remembered Jacy's name and then called her Jessie. So that's pretty on par.
Forgiven.
Brandi's name totally in there.
Yeah.
My favorite part was when he was like, "I'm sorry, my head." He's like, I can't quite get this right. My head. I have a head.
You know my head sometimes.
Yeah, I think our boy is tired.
Yeah.
I'm totally fine that he didn't mention me by name, though he's met me twice. And I gave him a special mug, but it's fine.
And you're the original member of Folkland.
It's fine. It's fine.
But anyway. Jen's face was on the screen. If you watch YouTube, for a couple of seconds. So she was in there.
Given the comment, right. Can you please give the comment? It's very exciting. What was his comment
about
Folkland? And also, can you give me a peanut butter and banana sandwich while you're at it?
Nate said it was very, very funny.
2 weeks. Barely.
So that's pretty great. Dusty said he watched it and that it was pretty fun and a good time. And Aaron said bub kiss, and I'll never forget it.
It's a little chip on your shoulder there, Jen.
Yeah. You know, I like Aaron in real life, but other than that, I know I was going to lay off the Aaron jokes, and then I just went double down.
Then she's like ramming it.
It's fine.
All right.
Yeah. So this week, there's a lot in this episode, and I know I feel like I say that every week because it's true. But Nate started off talking about his Graceland visit, which I thought was pretty cool, and obviously Brandi was really excited about.
I got a little shook up.
I'm excited. That's eyebrows on the side of her face, folks.
Yep.
She worked really hard to grow those.
It's really...
She's like...
stupid.
I'm real happy with the profile.
You can pull it off. You can pull it off.
I have never been to Graceland. How about you guys?
Mm-mm.
No.
It would be fun.
Yeah.
I have,
Can we just talk about real quick for 1 second why Aaron thought that Elvis got a haircut on the toilet is beyond me.
Nate was like, what? No. They were like, no.
He makes a joke like that, and then it doesn't, and Nate just completely shuts it down, and then he doubles down in his joke, and he goes, yeah, maybe he had a toilet with no tank on it. Like, he tries to make it make sense, and you're just like, I don't.
Circle one.
Somehow I think, you know, it's more likely that his bathroom was very large, and he had a chair, and he sat in that chair.
Yeah. Yeah, his bathroom was like a suite. Nate kept saying it's like a suite. It's not like your average bathroom.
It's not sweet like SWEET, Aaron. It's sweet like SUITE.
Yeah. And how Dusty was impersonating Fat Elvis for a roller derby team, but not at the roller derby rink, but at the bowling alley. Or,
when Nate was like,
or something like that.
You know how to skate? He's like at the roller rink.
But that's the only time that Dusty said he did research on Elvis was for that.
He did a deep dive.
He did a deep
that
dive.
Makes sense. I'm not typically Googling Elvis at random, you know, unless I have a reason to.
That's true.
I have a little Elvis background. I'll tell very quickly. And that is that my childhood best friend lives in the South, although she grew up here in the Midwest with me. And for a time she lived in Mississippi. And so I drove down and we met in Tupelo, Mississippi, which Nate mentioned is where Elvis was born. And that's where he spent his childhood. So my strongest memory from visiting Elvis's birth house, like Nate said, it's like a shotgun house, a little bitty place, little porch swing. You walk in, and God love them. This is their livelihood. You know, they give these tours, and it's very good for their little community. Well, you know, this little area where he was from. And I have this picture of this woman, like 25 years later in my head still. And it was almost like an animatronic person, like at Chuck E. Cheese or something, you know, like a Showbiz Pizza back
Disney,
in the day.
Yeah, yeah.
The Country Bears Jamboree. Yeah.
Yes.
And she sat there, and you know that she's done this for 8 hours a day for many years. You could tell. And so she says, on January 8th, 1935, Elvis was born in this very room. I can't tell you a whole lot else about that trip other than that line.
He was born in the room?
He was born right in that very room where I stood.
I think it was disturbing how you described when you started this whole thing, and you said it was his birth house, not like the birthplace or like, you know, the house he grew up in, but
he was born in the very room I was in.
And then no one could live in it after that.
It was his birth house.
It's just a mystery.
Anyway, that's my little Elvis tidbit for now. I may have a little
That's
gem
fun.
for you later too.
A little
I
Jim,
know.
like a small guy named Jim.
Yep.
A bad joke. Okay.
How did they go back to talking about alien stuff again?
Brian
Who's gonna meet aliens? I'm like, are we over this yet? They spent so long,
No,
and it was like, no, we're not done with the subject yet, and they started back.
they didn't even read comments until like an hour in,
Yeah.
I know.
which I was like,
Imagine
wow,
they
this
did
might be a
that
record.
before.
Yeah.
One more thing though on that. Not only did they bring back the aliens, but Jen, much to your demise, we had a hay bear reoccurrence.
Oh, you talking about that sweatshirt he wore?
I'm telling you that it's gonna live another life here. You better get real used
They
to hay
brought it
bears.
up. Yeah, I know. I'm already dreading this. They
It's
brought
back.
it up.
I
I'm
promise.
wagging my finger.
Ooh,
At you
she's
folks.
serious.
What are you doing with your feet?
They can't eat more.
She's an Elvis bear.
Yeah.
I
A
feel
teddy
you're-
bear.
I just
He's got a
squeezed
teddy
laugh
bear.
at that.
Oh, won't you be my hay bear?
I think you're a little you're a little confused.
Okay.
What is
Go
it?
on.
What's it called on your species confused right now? Are you Elvis? Are you a bear? We don't know. Hey there.
I belong in Folkland. That's
Hey
Anyway,
there, mama. Hey
they-
there, mama.
They did bring that up.
Mama bear.
There you go.
You're so close, Jacy.
I hate my life right now.
That's what I. Oh no. Never mind. Okay, go on.
Does anybody feel sorry for me out there yet? Please send fan mail. So they brought it up. Hey Bear and Brian, I was like thinking we were about to shut it down. I think it was Brian said, you know, anytime someone sees something with a bear, they post it in the group. And I was like, thank you. Can we stop doing this?
Oh no,
And I
this
really
is just
thought-
encouraged.
I really thought my joke the other day would kind of like, I keep doing this. This is my second time I posted something as a joke of like pointing out how
No.
not funny it is, but then it's not working. 'Cause
Nope.
Today,
It's going to
someone-
encourage everybody.
Yeah.
someone posted just a video of a bear. I swear someone's posted it 7 times before, and there it was again. And I just don't understand. And this was a rant. This was a rant. Official rant. My first.
Maybe Matthew, you might have to put a cap on these bear posts,
He
buddy.
won't. He never will. He doesn't put a cap on anything. He just lets it ride.
Well,
So-
the episode was scandals and animals.
This is an animal scandal.
All right.
I just want the folks to know that I support the saying "Hey Bear." I don't support posting anything related to a bear there. It's why?
You have to post about seeing something.
No, you don't. You have to be funny. We don't care about your bear, okay? Okay.
All right. Moving on.
Um,
I think we're going to have to agree to disagree a little bit. My feet are warm. I'll say that. My feet are warm.
You look like a sad child for a second.
My parents are fighting. Somebody help me. Mama, please don't fight. Mama.
Okay.
Mama bear, Papa bear, don't fight.
Papa Bear.
We don't normally dress like this. I'm trying to segue guys off bears, okay? Clearly we don't normally dress like this, but I was so angry about the whole bear thing. I killed one and now I'm wearing it. No, I'm just kidding. But we won the lottery and we just thought we should be really obvious about it. So
Yeah.
We did win the lottery because we got mentioned on Nateland.
we won the lottery because I have you guys.
Yeah.
People can be jealous of us now. Unlike Dusty, who gets confused as being homeless every time he's in California or
Yeah.
something.
Yeah. This is we could dress homeless a different day.
Wow, I find that offensive. No, I'm just kidding. I'll join you.
Wait,
Okay.
what did he say? It's they don't call him homeless anymore. What was the word?
Home insecure.
House
Unhoused. That's what it
Unhoused.
is.
Home insecure.
We just say, like, we use that. We don't like to
Unhoused.
say, we don't like to refer to people as homeless at work. It's like people experiencing homelessness.
I
Is that a
agree.
Yeah.
nicer way to say
But
that?
we don't have to get real serious about it right now. It's okay. Because Elvis was housed in the room I was standing in. He was housed in it.
Oh my gosh! Please don't bring up Elvis's birth.
That's hilarious.
I want to know what you guys would do if you'd win the lottery. What would you do?
Hmm.
What would you do?
Question.
Would
I
you
mean,
I definitely agree with Nate. You know, he said something about, like, you know, taking care of people, taking care of your family and stuff like that. Obviously, pay some debts. From you know, we don't.
Hey, Ramsey.
We have
Yeah.
a little bit of debt, but not much. But you know, pay that off. But once we do that, I know we would want to obviously set up our parents, get them taken care of.
Sorry, JC. The right answer was tithe. No, I'm just kidding. I love how no one brought that up.
Well, I would hope that you don't have to win the lottery to tithe.
But I would hope you would tithe. If you win
Ooh,
the
this is
lottery.
getting. Is it hot in here? I'm feeling a little hot. I'm gonna take this.
Hear a Nelly song.
But yeah, I don't know. I mean, probably do something fun. Take a big vacation.
Yeah.
I definitely do. I mean, yeah, obviously take care of my church, of course.
Mm-hmm.
We need some help.
I'd like to tell my work, you can stop paying me, but we don't have to tell anybody. Let's just keep this thing going. And then you can take my salary and you can put it towards all the cool stuff we can do. And yeah, obviously pay debt. I agree with you. I think that's like the first thing after tithing. And I'm just kidding. And you know, I would get a practical car. I have a very small car. It's a Honda Fit. I don't know why they named it that, because nothing fits in it. And it's not very practical. So I would want but I'd still want a car that's good on gas, because that's hard nowadays.
Yeah.
So
True.
Pretty reasonable.
I would love to be the grandma who, even though I'm not old enough to be one, just kind of puts $5 in everybody's hand. And it's like,
Yes.
honey,
Yeah.
don't spend it in place.
I don't have any.
I had a grandma like that.
Yeah.
I don't have probably anything that's exciting, and I mean just basic, the same kind of. My kids have never been on an airplane. I suppose that'd be fun to take them. What? Yeah.
That'd be
Yeah,
cool.
take them someplace. That'd be fun.
I could see
Buy
you
them an airplane.
Oh no, I wouldn't do that. But I would take them to Disney World.
People
on
would
an
know.
airplane instead of having to drive all the way to Disney. Whenever we
know
go
that
every couple
you
of
won.
years or whatever.
I could see you buying a costume warehouse,
Oh
Brandi.
baby.
Mm.
And you just spend all
Look
your
at the
time
sparkle
there
just
checking
came back to her eyes.
I like me some costumes.
I like my favorite thing, and I see you wrote it down to JC's when they were talking about how Aaron would act if he won the lottery, because I was like, I think that's exactly how he would act. He would show
Yeah.
up with a posse. And he'd be like, come to the table. All right, let's do this.
Yeah, exactly. And then he doesn't leave when it's over. He's like, I bought
Yeah.
your house. And then he sets it on fire in front of Nate.
Hey man, you gonna head out? How about you head out, Nate?
How about you?
What do you mean? I bought this place. I own this. I own your
Yeah.
family.
I thought it was really funny when Nate said that Brian would buy that book, but it's really
Brian laughed like he already had the book, though.
yeah. It was a great zinger because it's really a great compliment to his character. Honestly,
It is.
That's
That
true.
He's responsible, and he wouldn't be out like
Making it rain.
Yeah.
Quite frankly, I think that was the best answer about all of it, because I love Dave Ramsey, have taught that class, taken that class. And I'll tell our listeners right now, if anybody wants Total Money Makeover, you just comment. I will buy it and send it to you, because it will change your life. So,
Code word Nate.
Oh.
code word, Jen, can't afford this. Just in the building, Nate Bargatze.
Wait, I just want to say there was one part, just jumping back to the Dusty being homeless real quick, when Nate said You ever drink your coffee and find a quarter at the bottom of it?
That was good.
I was like,
I
wait,
laughed so hard.
Yeah.
I just
was
wanted to
good.
mention that because that was so
Talking about
good.
Laying on the slab of concrete.
That was
he
so
was like,
good.
lay here. Why were you just laying there, Dusty? Why? What did you do?
And he just said he just thinks it's a good place to lay down.
Having a good time.
He really just he lives
I
life.
don't know, man. If that was in his times of like drinking and stuff, I gotta say I did some
Maybe
pretty weird stuff like that.
Yeah,
so
he didn't say, but yeah, that's
I
true.
could see it.
All right. I want no segue for this. I just want to say I haven't had my nails done in about 5 or 6 years, but my daughter is turning 16 this week, so we went and got our nails done. And while I was at the salon, the nail guy, I mentioned my best friend was with us, and I said something about podcast. And he was so excited. He goes, "Are you a content creator?" I said, "No, I'm not." He said, "But you said podcast." And he made me show him our podcast on my phone. And he's very excited. And I said, "I'm going to give you a little shout out for
What's
these
his name?"
nails. He did. I don't know.
Oh,
my nail
was
guy.
it?
He's my nail guy.
What salon was it, Aaron?
It was.
Sorry, Brandi.
It was the salon in the mall in my generic Midwestern town.
Oh, you don't want to tell people where you live?
I don't know the guy's name, so it doesn't matter. I don't know the name of the nail place. I haven't done it in like 5 or 6 years.
Well, you are a content creator now.
I
You
guess.
look like Will Ferrell. I don't know what to do with my hands. Put them down. Here.
So what's funny is Nate talking about seeing Brian Regan in Boston. And it was like I had just seen him in Hartford. He was on his way to go to Boston like that night. And then he was like, he's going to go hang out with another cool comedian. I was kind of like, can I just go with you? Like I should have just, I'm small. You could put me right in a corner under the luggage so I could go with you on this journey. Because just to see Nate and Brian Regan talking and having a conversation, I wouldn't say a thing. I would just sit there and just be like watching them. It would be so fun.
Yeah.
I don't think there's a situation where I could not say a thing. I think it'd be very hard for me.
Do you know that my at church I work in children's ministry and the kids have a fun name for me, and it's Miss Mouth.
Oh wow!
I do a lot of talking.
When I was a kid, I wanted to like be a singer and stuff, and so I like made a band, and like wrote songs and stuff. And my sisters changed the name of my band to Jenny and the Big Fat Homer Face That Never Shuts Up. So I'm not insecure about talking a lot or anything.
Got a certain ring to it, but it might be a little long.
Might be a little long.
Have to abbreviate it.
You have to go by initials, NKOTB.
I can't think of what the initials would be.
We don't need to.
And all my cousins and my sister have PTSD hearing that because I was the one who made us do dances and concerts in front of family. And I was always in front of the camera going, and all of them in the background are like, she made us do this.
We used to act out like books and stuff that we read, like Lord of the Rings, Harry Potter.
Ooh, you sound like
Dusty.
Little Women. Remember in Little Women, they would make these little plays.
We like dyed paper with tea and we like burnt the edges of it and we made like textbooks for the classes in it. Yeah, it was very nerdy. And now I'm worried, like, did we read some of those spells? Did we do witchcraft? Like, I'm sorry, Dusty, please forgive me,
You know what? He's right. He sticks to his guns and I respect it.
Hey, I'm right there with him. I don't like any of that.
But on that topic, let's talk about that. Let's talk about on the show because it was pretty funny. He's talking about it. And like I said, I really respect that. But then so Nate pokes a little fun. He's like, so if my dad was here, would you be uncomfortable? Would you be uncomfortable? And, he's like, no, we've talked before and he's just doing tricks, so he's like, I'm not uncomfortable. He's not speaking spells or anything. And he's like, does he have a wand? Multiple. That was gold.
It was almost like Dusty was like, he's just doing tricks, right? Like he's like,
Yeah.
you weren't lying to me, were you, man? You know.
Right. Tell me the
I'm
truth now.
picturing, like, his all of it, like he pulls out this magic wand. It's like the never ending.
Yeah, right.
And
Right.
this
Flowers.
yeah, flowers. Yeah, multiple.
Yeah, right.
I gotta say on that topic, that is one great guy. It's Nate's dad, Steven.
Hey, Stephen
We-
Barghesi, if you're watching this, I think that you should do a trick on Dusty now where you convince him it's real magic.
Make him think that he's invisible or something, that you can't see him.
Oh,
Yeah. I don't know that Steven is a big Folkland fan that he's watching, but I will say I am crazy about the guy. I've had a couple of conversations. Melts my heart.
very sweet. I
Yeah.
haven't met him, but just seeing how he reacts and how he talks about his son, it's
Yeah.
very, very sweet.
Yeah,
Okay, I'm
that's my
not
you.
visible anymore.
Oh,
Sorry.
you two have told.
I didn't know where
that's
you
your-
went.
That's your origin story, your Nateland origin stories, but I've never told mine.
Oh,
And my Nateland origin story is that I made a piece of artwork and it featured Steven. It was from Nate's joke in his Special Tennessee Kid, where he talked about his earliest childhood memory. And he was telling the story about the clown and the
Oh,
Easter
yeah.
Bunny. And I decided I've got to make that. It's so visual. I've got to make some artwork. And I sent it in. That's my story. And then Nate gave it away to his dad for Christmas. And I mean, my heart exploded. I loved it so much that he gave that to him and that he liked it so much.
we got to meet him at the live taping of the podcast. It's cute.
That is
And he
very
was
cute.
very nice. He likes to talk to everybody. He likes to make you feel special. Like he's just a real sweetheart.
They said he had on that shirt in Louisville. I knew he would be there. His family, they've said that before, that his family's in Louisville. And he had on that shirt that says, Nate's dad. It's so cute.
That is very sweet. Yeah. So they talked about like scandals and stuff, and they talk about Spygate, and Nate says, "Did you type in Dusty's brain?"
Yeah, that was funny. I think I wrote that down.
Yeah.
That was a good one. I think got passed over. You know.
Mm-hmm. There was a lot of one-liners in this episode, I think.
Here's something I think also got passed over. Did you see? So I like that they brought up the balloon boy again.
Yeah.
Did you see when they Googled it, when Aaron Googled it, and this stupid picture of a cartoon boy holding a balloon came up, and it was up there for a minute, and he was trying, he like backspaced it and typed balloon boy again, and it still was up there.
Just a boy holding a balloon.
Longer than our faces.
Yes. I was like, oh, this is gold. Gold, Jerry.
That's hilarious. What about the difference between Brian and Aaron is the same difference between Aaron and Harper in their age?
That's weird.
Did you hear that?
That's weird. Bob
Yeah.
with pants.
I think Aaron really thought that was weird. Yeah.
Aaron and I are the same age. Actually, he might be a little bit older than me. I think that's weird.
I think Aaron being next to Dusty's like rubbing off on him now, because he goes when they were talking about the balloon boy and stuff like that. He said something like, "What was the government doing when everybody was focused on the balloon boy?" And I was like, "Oh, Dusty's like,
"Everybody look
I
over
know."
here. Look over here. Everybody.
Dusty's like, the training is
My
going well.
my favorite
Textbook.
part is when Nate said, "Okay, look," he said, "Why would you not have your own podcast and your own video game?" When
Yeah.
Dusty was talking about everything was like a simulation.
Everything's being a simulation. I don't think Nate understood what he meant.
No, I think he did. And I wrote secret genius next to this in my notes.
Oh, this is the
Hey,
secret genius part.
Is secret genius. Oh, there's two parts.
Okay,
The
go ahead.
other one, I only wrote the timestamp and I don't remember what happened at that point because I am not a secret genius. But so he was saying, if everything is a simulation and you're the only one who's got consciousness and everybody else is fake, why would you not be the host of your own podcast and your own creation? And it was such a good thing. And then Dusty came back with, well, it's like a video game where you got to work your way up.
Listen, do you know what it made me think of? It made me think of that exact scene in The Office when between Dwight and Jim. You guys familiar with that scene? Yeah, that's exactly where I went.
Was it Dwight playing that game, that simulation of real life?
No, he was like, they were bantering about something. I almost looked this up. I didn't get a chance today. And he says, well, he's like, I don't know, working in hell with the devil, blah, 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 blah. And he's like, and I don't know.
A bed and breakfast, right?
In
a bed and breakfast in hell.
Dreams, you're a co-hosting a bed and breakfast in hell.
Right. But you don't own it. Or something.
This is what it made me think of when he was like not even the host of his own podcast in his video game.
Well, yes. I think it got even better because then Nate says, what if the real conspiracy is Dusty? Like everything that is a conspiracy is real, and he's the conspiracy because he thinks everything's a conspiracy. And I was like, secret genius! Strikes again!
Oh my gosh.
Can we have a segment called Help Me Understand What's Happening in My Notes? Here's one for you. How does Brian know the floors are hard in prison? They talk about that when they talk about being invisible. And maybe that's a common sense thing, but he said it like he knew something. Nate was talking about, like, if I was invisible,
I wonder if he was pulling from his experience being on that show.
What was that show?
Shoot.
It was a really funny show.
Sprung.
Yes. I was like, Jailbreak?
Have you ladies watched it? I have. It's really good.
It is very good. A little inappropriate, but very good. Yeah. Just got to put that disclaimer out there for people.
Right.
It's not wholesome. Don't watch with your kids.
Correct.
But yeah, so he was talking about like if he were invisible and he was carrying a bag, and then oh my gosh, it cracked me up when he said, why you just quietly take people out one by one, and they're like, why are all these people falling down? He said, no, even better, you just put a little poison in each one of their drinks, but they would see the bag of poison, then
he's carrying it
down
around
on the ground, and you put it against where the wall meets the floor, and you just drag it slowly. That's when Brian was like, those floors are hard in prison.
My favorite on the invisibility was the gag where he talked about you had to hold in your breath.
Yes.
To be invisible, and then you like start fading back in, and
I like when he said they were going to open the prison door, and they're like, you just give it a couple minutes. He'll run out of breath. And
yes.
And you're like, and his face is right there.
Good stuff.
Okay.
So funny.
I want to see, here's some trivia for you. If you guys can tell me what this was from in the podcast. Because I don't know. I wrote, Bible hater Brian turned to brutal Bates. What was this about, guys?
It's about Bible Man, maybe?
Yes!
Yes, that was in my breakfast bites. Yeah.
Sorry. Here we go.
We ruined the breakfast bite?
We don't have to yet, but...
No, I said, did she ruin it?
So we brought it up. Let's just do it, and then we can go back. Well, okay. So the different names that I heard him called on the episode, actually, I think somebody commented Barbarella was one name. Somebody in the comment of that episode, of this last episode, called him Bargraph. And then Bible hater Brian. I think that's because there was a comment of a woman saying that Bible Man helped save her. And he says, if you need a fake superhero to help you find the Lord, then...
Yeah. That's why I said Bible hater Bates. We used to watch Bible when I was watching the kids, like, years ago at church.
I've never heard of him, but...
Really? Oh, yeah.
I've only been...
like, concerts or something, live shows. And...
I've heard of Salty. Have you heard of Salty? The singing songbook?
No.
You've never heard Salty, the singing songbook?
Sounds
it's like very cringe. Very cringe. Because he's this big blue book. Okay. This man is in this. You like costumes, Brandi? He's in. You have to look it up. He's the Book of Psalms. He's a songbook, but his head is like where the bind of the book is. So his whole body is a book. but he has a hole for his head. But the book is blue, so his whole face is just blue.
And he's like, Lord, you make me to walk through green pastures, but I can't fit through them sideways.
Yeah, he's in a costume. Salty, the singing songbook, and he helps people. My boys used to like, he just moves like this, and then he's like this because his whole body's a book.
Or are they in the book?
His arms are out of the book. So, like, right here would be his legs are dangling at the bottom of the book.
Somebody needs to send a picture in so I can see.
Yeah, he has a song. Don't be a chicken, be bold. I don't know. Sorry. But
terrible.
Like my kids loved it so much.
I do those cheesy kid songs though. Like, okay, have you heard the Best Buddies music? It's Deanza.
We're really striking out here, understanding each other.
Dawn Cherie and what's her husband's name? They pastor a Blue Church in Miami. Dawn Cherie, Rich Wilkerson Jr.
Somebody's yelling at the screen right now. It's
his dad.
I don't know.
Nobody
Jen.
cares. His dad's a big time pastor. Anyway, so these two kids get married. Both their parents are in ministry. Her mom makes the Best Buddies music. It's all of 6 of her kids, their kids, on an album, and they record songs that are principles in scripture. And it's, we're gonna be the best buddies this world has ever seen. And anyway, I bought the albums on iTunes when I was watching my pastor's kids all the time, like when I was in ministry school, and I just like made them sing it if they had conflict. We sing the one about conflict, and they actually liked it. But you want to hear the funniest part? Now it just automatically comes on when I get in my car, because your phone will just start.
Yeah.
And I've had where like I'm leaving a date and they're saying goodbye to me, and I get in my car and it's like, we're the happiest people in the world. And I was like,
red flag, run, red flag.
No, it's so weird. Okay, bye.
How did that happen? Wi-Fi. Who knows how this internet works?
There's one that's like Jamaican.
That sounds pretty fun, though. It does sound fun.
It's a good time.
All right, guys. It's time to talk about some animals.
We already talked about it. I don't want to bring up bears anymore.
Well, here's the thing. They said animals, but they only talk about bears, squirrels, and snakes.
And deer.
And deer.
Deer. But,
by the way,
yeah,
is that what people do with trucks? Do they just hit them and keep going? You don't even see if your truck
probably. I don't see why. I mean, if you stopped, you can't resuscitate a deer.
Yeah.
No, but wouldn't you even want to look at your car? Like, wouldn't you want to be like, is it okay? You just keep going.
Yeah, I think he said he got out after, but I think most people who have trucks, knowing some people in Virginia, they'll keep going. They'll stop eventually and they'll look at it, but
they'll keep going.
I live in the Midwest, and it is a real everyday, very common occurrence, the deer thing. We've had our vehicles in body shops many times because of deer.
I almost hit one in my neighborhood. So I live like in the woods, a missionary property. It's like downtown, which is a very small downtown because it's a small town. Then you turn and you're like in the woods. And you can only drive 25 miles per hour on the street. And
we're getting ready to have to pixel out. You're giving too much details. And then on the third house on the left.
No, I was like, wait, what?
Like describing
in the comments, we will put her GPS coordinates. Don't worry.
Yeah.
So at my house, 167 Mulberry Street. Just kidding, fake. But anyway, I'm coming down the road and you got to drive slow. There's literally signs that say slow here. And then it's like $sign at H exclamation point, you fill in the rest, and it says down, there's kids here. And I'm like, well, the kids are reading the sign. So, but anyway, I come out and there's just a deer. I'm like, this is a neighborhood, man. Can you? But
can you not?
I pull in my parking lot and my headlights shine into the woods. I mean, there'll be a family of deer right there.
Yeah,
they're cute. I can't imagine killing.
They are cute. A very, very, very small town, like a one stoplight town. one, the main street is the only street that has businesses on it and so on. And growing up, there was a video store with big storefront windows, and it was the talk of the town because a deer ran into the video store just went right through and then came out the other side and came out the other.
That's what I am worried about. Like, I watched a show where a deer hit a car. Like, the car didn't hit the deer ran into the car.
This has happened to us many times. Yeah.
And then they usually the car gets more damage than the deer sometimes. It can be pretty powerful, I heard.
Not always.
Oh, recently someone deer's snippers get stuck in the door, and it was just going along with the car as it was going down the road. Eventually they stopped, but I was like, dang! And that deer got himself out and ran away.
We once hit a deer,
crazy.
And our vehicle was in the shop, and literally, I mean, the deer hit us, took off the side mirror and everything, ran into the side, and literally got the rental car, and a deer jumped on the hood of the rental car.
What?
So it was the fall, and then we dressed up in our costumes that year. I dressed up like a deer, and I made my husband was a magnet, like a deer magnet.
Maybe
that's very clever.
Hey, deer.
Can we talk about the kid that bit the cobra and killed it?
Yeah. Kid was a beast.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like I need to look it up and watch it to add anything to it.
I can't believe he killed it.
I mean, that's what you do where he lives. I mean,
let's talk about what if animals could talk, and in both of these situations, what if that cobra could talk, and what if these deer could talk?
Can the deer walk backwards?
Duh.
That was so silly.
I literally wrote in my notes as they were talking about that, Google, can deer walk backwards? Because they didn't. And then it was like, he Googled it, and it was like,
yeah.
Oh, yeah. Apparently they can spring backwards.
According to a guy on a message board.
Yeah.
Wow. But the best part was when Nate says, can deer walk backwards? And literally Brian goes, nobody knows.
Yeah, I know. He's so
Breakfast
funny.
bite.
Yeah.
Oh, that guy.
I thought it was really funny. Yeah, that they were talking about the spiders talking, but you can't see them. And then, like, your dog talks back and is just not satisfied with you.
Yeah.
And I just thought about my dog.
Yeah.
And how he follows me around. We rescued him. Actually, he's a rescue. And we just got him earlier this summer. And his name is Sonic, like Sonic the Hedgehog. But I almost want to call him Shadow because he literally is my shadow. He's stuck to me like glue. And if he could just talk and be like, I'm following you around because I actually hate you so much. You don't listen to me. Like, he actually doesn't love me at all would be hilarious.
I'm sorry. I just thought oh, go ahead, Brandi.
I just wanted to let you know that I've heard you refer to your dog Sonic before, and I thought he was named after the Great American Drive-In where you go get a slushie. Sonic. That's the Sonic that I have more in my life because my boss loves a good Sonic drink.
So I was thinking about what if your dog could talk, and you know how sometimes like you're just undressed because it's a dog, right? And your dog's like, I've seen you naked and you should not do that.
Please don't.
It's very awkward for me.
Or Nate said a cat would enjoy watching your life crumble.
I missed that.
Yeah, it was so funny. He goes, a cat would enjoy watching your life crumble. A cat would be like, good, you deserve that.
How does it feel?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, it was a good sode, guys.
It was lots of fun.
I won't be doing this anymore because
now that you're a big name.
I won a lot of money and am famous now. So,
yeah.
Well, please follow us on all the social stuff, basically YouTube.
Yeah.
Follow us, Folkland. Also on
we have that Insta page now.
Instagram, Folkland _podcast.
Yeah.
We post some funny stuff there. And leave us a comment. What did you think about this episode?